Yes, this is Mr. Controversy, and this is the infamous three-point conversion station. Keep it locked.
Yes. It's Mr. Controversy here on the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Did you miss me? It's another great show coming for you. Another great day. It's Saturday. So much to talk about. A lot of sports. Big games. We're getting into the thick of things when it comes to the NFL, college football. College basketball is revving up. What else? NBA is getting interesting now. A lot of topics. And of course, I'm not doing this by myself. My man D is still out. Say your prayers for him. He will be back, I promise you. He's getting well, but of course, we salute him. And still calling me, giving me pointers, talking about arguing like he's on the show. But of course, like I say, I always make sure I treat people well. So in favor, people do come back and return the favor for you. So thing with me, I got a superstar. My man H.O. is back in the building. What's up, H.O.?
Hey, man, what's going on? Had to get that coffee, of course, this morning to get my radio voice going. And actually, somebody asked me a question last week. They said, do you ever sleep in on Saturday? Like, listen, man, when duty calls, you got to go and make it happen. So, glad to be here. Shout out to D.
Yeah, shout out to D.
I'm hearing that you're dedicating this show to someone special today.
Yeah, we're dedicating this show to Miss Crystal, and her show is she's usually here to do the show, but she's not. She'll be back. So, Crystal, the show is for you.
There it is, man.
And what up, G?
Yo.
That's my guy right there.
So, get into the show. Like I said, it's going to be a great show, man. We have to talk about this Carmelo situation. But not only that, we have to talk about this Draymond Green and Kevin Durant. They won't leave it alone. When I say they, I'm talking about the media. So it keeps... And I guess because they're losing, too. So we're going to get into that. We have to get into that and talk about that.
Chris is smiling. But listen, it's something to that, though. It's something to that makes me wonder. Because as big as that fight was with Chris Paul and Rondo, all of a sudden, nothing.
Well, because this is the best team. We'll get into that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
think about it now. Yep. Think about it.
That's crazy.
But
crazy.
We'll get into that. Yeah. But it's just something to think about.
Something to think about, definitely. Also, with college football, it's not too many big games. We have UCF going against Cincinnati. They're at home. They're going to be nationally televised, so on ESPN, prime time, so this is big for them. Also, we got Syracuse and Notre Dame. But we're going to really get into who's going to be the first team out of the playoffs, or who we think will be the first team as far as the playoff teams that will be out. We'll see about that. That's going to be interesting. NFL, of course, we got to measure up the Falcons, but also with the Packers, is Rodgers wasting his time? We'll get into that. Then we got the big game, KC, Los Angeles Rams, Monday night. Man, make you think about old days.
Yeah, they think it's some smoke in L.A. Wait till Monday.
Right. Then we have a special guest in Danny Thompson from Around the Association. He's going to be in. He covers the Orlando Magic as well. And we're going to talk basketball with him. And then we have our weekend injury report. It's going to be a new segment that we're going to bring in Dr. Donald Fowler to come in, and he's going to come in, and from Ortho Atlanta, he's going to come in and give us analysis on some big injuries going into these games and how it would affect that player. So if you're a fantasy guy or if you just love your team, hey, these notes right here let you know what you need to do or how you need to prepare. So make sure you let everybody know they can listen to the show live on 1100 a.m. The Real locally in Atlanta. Also, they can listen to us on Facebook Live on the 3 Point Conversion Facebook page. Then you have us on iHeartRadio, Radio Now, TuneIn Radio at 1100 a.m. The Real. Yep. So it's time to get to these quick hits. Let's get it. Shout out to Sherm for the sick beats. Now, we're going to start off with big game last night, man. The Boston Celtics win in a nail-biter in overtime against the Toronto Raptors, 123-116. Kyrie Irving had 43 points and 11 assists. Kawhi Leonard had 31 points and 15 rebounds. Is this why Kyrie left Cleveland?
The pecking order is assembling. Kyrie say, look, it's enough. It's enough of this. Keep passing the ball, and everybody is averaging 20-something points. Somebody has to be the head of the snake. I got it. We good. I'm back into my Uncle Drewness.
Right.
And if you saw the game, you know, even LeBron tweeted him out like, you know, Kyrie in his bag tonight.
Right.
And of course he was, you know what I'm saying? So I think the pecking order in Boston is starting to assemble, but I'm pretty sure we still got some questions about the depth and how much time other players are getting. But I think it's simply to say that Kyrie and Jason Tatum, the pecking order goes 1 and 2, and that's how Boston is winning right now.
Yeah, but it was good to see a big game not involving LeBron James. I'm saying the East, and no knock to him. I'm just saying you got two other teams battling. That was good to see. Moving on, the Seattle Storm point guard Sue Bird, WNBA Seattle Storm point guard Sue Bird, has been hired as basketball operation associate for the Denver Nuggets. Congrats to her. She will continue her WNBA career, and she will continue to play next year. But still, big thing for her, you know, big thing that we're not worried about gender and everything like that, you know.
Yeah, man, listen, she went to UConn. Let's just be real. I mean, they got privileges because they have a lot of representation in the WNBA.
Yeah,
so
you're not lying.
So shout out to her, and maybe that's a movement that would, you know, continue the trend with my girl Becky Hammond. Is that correct, G? In the San Antonio organization or whatnot. So
yeah,
that's good to see.
That's good to see, man. She's cool too. So good person. Moving on, got a crush on her too. Y'all remember this coach used to coach at LSU named Les Miles, who always wanted to pull a fake punt at the wrong time and lose the game.
And eating grass.
Well, that man is back in college football. He is finalizing a deal with the Kansas Jayhawks football team to become head coach. Happy for Les. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's good. You know, when it comes to football and sports, you need certain people to be in sports. It just makes it better. As long as they're in it, and having Les Miles back in college football, it just sounds good.
Listen, he started out in the Big 8.
Right.
Oklahoma State,
yep.
Offensive coordinator, then he became a head coach of Oklahoma State. So he's in familiar territory. So
right.
This is a non-familiar territory for him. So he's basically going back to some of his roots, even though he went to Michigan and played in Michigan. But that's a whole nother story.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because at LSU it was smash mouth football basically,
Right.
to where he never had a quarterback.
Right.
But now at Kansas, like what is this team? What is he trying to build? That will be interesting to see, and it'll be interesting the first time that he mismanages the clock, because he did that several times at LSU, to where I named a seminar after him for clock mismanagement, hosted by Andy Reid, and it'll be interesting to see that for the first time, to where like that will cost Kansas a win. And I'm interested to know, since we talked about on Sports Roundtable a couple years ago, what's the bonus for beating an FBS team? Because the previous coach, the previous coach got $50,000 a bonus just for beating any FBS team. Just for winning a game.
That's why they had to fire him quick. But another thing is the identity thing would be something to look forward to. But Kansas play on turf, so there's no grass eating in Kansas.
Yeah, that's big too. So.
That was his
that was his thing.
for him.
He'll find some grass on campus.
Yeah,
somewhere in the flatlands.
Yeah, he will.
I don't know where Lawrence, Kansas is. There's plenty of other grass to choose
I'm
from.
pretty sure.
Moving on. Baltimore Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco was listed as out for Sunday's game. I think they played Cincinnati, against Cincinnati, right? Yeah, Cincinnati. And it's because of his hip. Now they're saying that it might be more to this, like this might not be the only game. But the Ravens say they would either or will either start Lamar Jackson or RG3. Why can't they just start Lamar Jackson, man? Like this is what you drafted him in the first round. RG3 ain't gonna come back and win y'all the game, so let him play. This is perfect to give him some, experience, some play. He looked good on that when he actually got a chance to play quarterback. He looked pretty good. Let him play. Just let him play.
It kind of depends on how serious that injury is, though. To me, if it's serious, then maybe Lamar, we will put you in and open up the playbook, and you can go ahead and probably finish. You can play 2 or 3 games. But if it's really not that serious, do you risk the opportunity to really open up the playbook where you have a veteran quarterback that you're definitely in the playoff race for? So, I mean, it's a tough decision, I'm pretty sure, but only Baltimore knows. But I would love to see Lamar Jackson play.
Me too. Boston Red Sox re-signs World Series MVP Steve Pearce for a 1-year, $6.25 million contract. How am I supposed to say that? Does this mean he's the starter, or do you keep him in because you need a old head?
This is a reward for winning the World Series. This is how baseball works.
And the reason why we're talking about this, just because of that, like, you're like, okay, this is not a big deal. He only signed for 6.25, but
it shows how random baseball can be.
Yeah, it does.
Because with not every year, like, okay, Boston had the best record this year and they won the World Series. That doesn't happen every time.
Right.
And a lot of times the most random player could win a series MVP. If they get hot at the right time, then like I didn't know what Steve Pearce looked like until you sent the rundown.
But that was the whole point of doing this, because it's like they signed him. Was it to say, all right?
It was a favor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right.
Yeah, thank you.
And last but not least, I definitely want to get you all's opinions on this. Rookie power forward Wendell Carter Jr., Atlanta native, says he believes that the team needs to work on getting on the same page. He came out and said this. Coming out of timeouts, we go our separate ways, and instead of huddling as a team, we only huddle when it's a timeout. Is he overstepping his bounds? He might be telling the truth, but I'm just asking, do you think he's overstepping his bounds?
You want to go first, G? Or you want me to go?
Well, I'll just be real quick. Like, I don't think he's overstepping his bounds if if it's the truth. I mean, the I don't believe in like the hierarchy like that. Like, oh, you have to have a certain stature to say something, whether it's true or not. But if it is true, then I think it's okay for him to say it.
He went to Duke. He played for a military guy where they believe in team. And, you know, maybe some of this Coach K is rubbing off because they jog to the huddle.
Right.
They huddle at free throw line. They huddle. I mean, it's in the culture, and with the young guys that they have, there's really no veterans on the team.
And then I can say this: it's good the fact that you got somebody at a young age coming out saying this, which means he might be able to be that future leader or that leader at a young age. And it's a bonus when you have a player that young and he's showing that he's a leader. LeBron, Mike. I mean, you don't get that often. So for him to come out and say that, I thought that spoke volumes.
I agree.
That wraps up Quick Hits. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with a hot topic.
Hello, I'm Devin Baker, and this is your Sports News Break. After a humiliating loss to the Cleveland Browns, the Atlanta Falcons return home to face the Dallas Cowboys in a battle that will be for the playoff hopes for both 4 and 5 teams. The 3-12 Atlanta Hawks continue their campaign for ping pong balls against the Indiana Pacers. They went 0-3 on their West Coast trip. Number 5 ranked Georgia Bulldogs have clinched their seat in the SEC Championship against number 1 Alabama, but first must handle their business against UMass University at home. And the Yellow Jackets look to build up their momentum on their 3-game winning streak at home against the Virginia Cavaliers. Georgia State's on the road to face Appalachian State. Atlanta United is off this week, but will host the first leg of the conference finals against the New York Red Bulls next Sunday at 5 p.m. Make sure to follow 3-Point Conversion for all your major sports news and updates. It's where fans' opinions matter.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports?
I don't believe it! It's a touchdown!
Entertainment?
Are you not entertained?
And other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl, Kelsey Nicole Nelson, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great show.
This is Mr. Controversy here with H.O.
Yeah.
And this next segment is the hot topic, and it is brought to you by Cindy Cuts Barbershop, located 3000 Chapel Hill Road, Suite 206, Douglasville, Georgia. Great barbershop. Check them out. Everyone can cut. Everyone is cool. Everybody's calm, collected. They might not agree on everything. I mean, but you don't want that at a barbershop. That'd be lame. You know, that'd be... I can't even imagine a barbershop like that. But either or, like I said, man, it's good, man. Talk sports, politics, community, entertainment, helping children. You know, depending on who's in there. Women. No, just play. It's a true barbershop. I'm just saying, it's real. Shout out to Dwayne Chambers, the barber. Make sure you follow him on Instagram at Simha the Barber. That's SIMHATHEBARBER. And shout out to my man Sean, Uncle Sean. Shout out to you, baby. Thanks for your support. All right, so it is the hot topic, and talking about the NBA drama that's going on right now. Quickly, I want to talk about the Melo situation. Melo versus Houston. Carmelo Anthony. It came out that he's not going to be with the team, but he's still with the team. Which definitely don't understand that. Basically, he's not going to be playing, but they're going to keep him on a roster, but he won't be attending games.
Collecting those DNP CDs.
Yes. So, quickly, man, if y'all noticed, they hadn't said anything about this. We don't know what caused this. All we know is they weren't in agreement. They didn't say names or anything. What do you think this stems from?
Well, I think I did hear D'Antoni say he wanted Clark in the starting lineup. And I don't know.
He wanted Clark?
Yeah.
But Carmelo, didn't he agree to come off the bench, right? Or at least that's what that came out. And he was balling. He had a couple of games. He had 28, 22.
Yeah, but they played 12 and the other 10 just... the thing about it is I think that he's just in the wrong era at this point.
It's not his era. It's not.
I just think that the ball stoppage is just not, and, Houston is known for ball stoppage, but it just, I think it's more acceptable. Like, if he was doing somewhat like what Vince Carter was doing. I mean, Vince Carter been in the league forever.
Right.
But he's accepted the fact that these young guys got to play,
Right.
And I think it's more toward that than anything else.
But he's also being brought in as, like, he was brought into Oklahoma City as, oh, maybe this is the piece we need to contend for a championship. And I think he ended up in Houston in the same way, to where they're thinking, okay, we lost Arisa, we lost Bamute, we can replace it with Carmelo and keep this thing going.
But why? But I guess my question is, why so soon, though? I mean, and think about it. CP3 was suspended. Harden has been hurt. Like, I just don't understand why so soon. All of a sudden, and now it's like, we can't. We don't want him playing. We're not coming to an agreement. And like I said, we don't know if Carmelo sparked this or D'Antoni.
I think he's being put in a situation where he feels, or teams have felt like, we don't want to hurt your feelings. We're going to bring you in to be a major piece. And he's just not at that level no more. You can't be a major piece. You have to come in, and I guess they want to pay him like they are paying him.
Right.
Instead of just accepting the fact that, if you can come off the bench and contribute that way, or however these guys like a Jamal Crawford or a Vince Carter. I mean, there's some guys in the league that have accepted the fact that, I can help you in other ways other than just trying to be a major piece. And I think that's where the issue comes.
And part of it also, is with the draft class that he came in with LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, those guys, even though Dwayne Wade is in his last season, but he sees himself as their contemporaries. And as far as their caliber of play, their success, he sees himself with them.
Yeah, that's a good
so
point.
That's why they've also come to defend him. And since he still sees himself at their level, he is resisted coming off the bench. He's resisted changing his style.
Defense.
But I think it's not fair, and I just think it's not fair in a sense, because you look at his career. People talk about, he gets a lot of flack for what he did in New York, but he had no one in New York he went there, and to me, he got the short end of a stick because your man wasn't hurt. He wasn't healthy.
He didn't have the team around him in New York that the other players had with their teams. But he was good in New York, and he wanted to be there.
But they were supposed to be good. But I'm saying because Stat got hurt. When Stat got hurt, and then you got the other players didn't pan out, and they never was the Knicks that you thought. Knicks fans, shout out to the Knicks Nation on Facebook. But golly, them jokers, he hadn't been with the Knicks 2 years. They still talk about him. I mean, so it's a sore spot, and I guess they feel like they got cheated. But I think that he got cheated because he went there so that with him and Stoudemire and building around them, it was going to be great. But he became the only person there, and the offense was just all on him, which now they can double and triple team. And he couldn't play the role that he played in Denver. He had to be point guard, shooting guard, power forward. So
game had changed.
But let me tell you what else has changed. It's not the same at Golden State anymore. This situation that popped up with Draymond and Kevin Durant, has it put Golden State in a position now where it's kind of looking like y'all might be in trouble?
Yeah, it definitely fits the category of a nosy neighbor. I tell you that.
Right.
If that's the case, listen, Draymond ego got in the way.
Mm-hmm.
You was wrong. You're not 1, 2, or 3 on the pecking order when it comes to who scores the ball.
Right.
Give the ball up.
Right.
Right? Let's keep it in the context. Durant said, I was open, give me the ball. So he went below the belt when you start talking about off the court stuff. Let's keep it in-house, or let's keep it on the court. Give the ball up.
Yeah.
So you wrong for not giving the ball up. That's a mistake. Just say, okay, cool, my bad, and let's move on. But that's not what he did.
It seemed like Draymond might as well said, like when Katie said, hey, man, you should pass me the ball. Why are you bringing up old stuff?
But you know what? You can't tell me people in OKC is like, where was this Durant when he was here? All we wanted him to do was tell Westbrook, give me the ball. If this tough Durant was in OKC,
fake tough guy,
championships. I think they would have won at least, maybe 2, if they would have had something to this point, something to this magnitude of the way he's portraying himself.
I think it just looks worse that Draymond did. I don't know if he did it privately, but he has shown nothing that says that, okay, I missed them, or I should have made a different decision. I was wrong.
And talking about passing the ball, or he came out and said he handled it wrong. He's like, I'm an emotional guy. Y'all know how I am.
Them excuses though.
No, not. No, you didn't have to say I'm an emotional guy and this is how I am.
Well,
that's
all you had to say was, look,
I was
maybe
wrong.
I should have
But what he
passed the
said
ball.
was, he said, I'm wrong.
Differently.
He was just saying, y'all know I'm an emotional guy. He's like, I was wrong. He's like, I was in my feelings. I was wrong. He was like, I shouldn't have said those things. So he said that. He's like, and we can get better at this. I mean, it takes time. But I just think on the other end, I don't know how Durant feels. Because when you mentioning about his, you don't mention stuff like that. We're better. It's saying now, it's rumored that he said we're a better team without you and you're going to leave, whatever. It's like Draymond was in his feelings. Like, Draymond don't want him to go. And Draymond is hurt about this.
Draymond the one called him.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he's hurt about this. Yeah.
But the thing about it is just like we talked about once, how do you know if he's committed or not committed? How do you know he got one foot in and one foot out? What are you seeing that we're not seeing? Right? If I'm asking for the ball and I'm trying to win a game, am I 1 foot in or 1 foot out? I'm trying to win.
Well,
that bonehead mistake looks like you got 1 foot out.
Right. I really think when he said that just stemmed from something, because think about it, and the media, and I was saying this to myself, with everything that's going on in the media, and they're talking about how different cities are putting up billboards or doing things for that doesn't look well, And with Draymond, He don't like that because he wanted him, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's coming out. He's sick. He's hurt.
But that's part of the business anyway.
No, you're right. You're
part
right.
of the business.
You're right.
I mean, he in Silicon Valley. He know how the business work. That's part of the business. It's gonna happen.
So moving forward, how does this affect them? Do you think now that it's going to take time, they're going to go on a losing streak, or they won't be the same? Like to me, it's really going to have to take Curry coming back, and he has to go for like 8 threes in one quarter at home. We know how the fans get pumped up and they're cheering, and maybe that might help. But
listen, the engine that stirs this drink is Steph Curry. He's not even playing, and they continually getting blown out or whatever the case may be. So when Steph Curry gets back, we'll see how that works out. But moving forward, I don't know how this is going to pan out. They've proven that they can win without Durant. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen them. We also saw them win with Durant, but we saw them win without Durant. We have not seen them win without Draymond. So, I mean, it's a tit for tat. You can go back and forth about this and this and that or whatever the case may be. But while all of that is going on, teams are preparing to beat you.
Right.
At the end of the day, they're preparing to beat you. And as long as Steph is the stirring this drink, Golden State will be all right. Durant, you will never be bigger than Steph Curry in Golden State. So if that's what you're aiming to do and be, it's not going to happen.
I don't even think it's that. I really think and I'll end it like this. It just reminds me of how in '98, the Bulls' last hurrah, when Pippen was holding out. It was a thing they might trade Pippen. Well, they say he was hurt, but he was like holding out. They were saying they might trade Pippen. Phil wasn't getting along with the GM. They was asking Mike, what should we do? They won, but you kind of had a feeling in the beginning of the season it was the last hurrah.
Well, the story about that, Krause told Phil Jackson, I don't care if you go 82-0.
Right. So it just has that feel that this is that last hurrah. Now, are they going to win it, or are they going to do like the Lakers did in 2004? We'll see. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cat Williams, and you are listening to 3 Point Conversion Radio.
Are you tired of limiting yourself from tasty food because you want to eat healthy? Well, Salad Express will fix that problem for you. Salad Express is a gourmet salad and grill restaurant that gives you multiple options to satisfy your taste buds and keep you healthy. They have over 40 toppings, which are all cut fresh daily, and 7 homemade soups, including chili. You can also order hot sandwiches and wraps, with choices like grilled chicken, steak, salmon, and shrimp, which can all be added to salad as well. Go ahead and visit them today at 1055 Mansell Road, Suite 600 in Roswell, Georgia. Your taste buds will thank you.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kent Bazemore from the Atlanta Hawks. You're now listening to 3 Point Conversion.
We are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Gotta have my magic hat on, man.
You weren't even on camera yet.
Oh, I didn't know, man. I just had to have my magic hat on when I was doing it, man. But anyway, it is time to talk college football. It's Saturday morning. The playoffs basically stayed the same playoff picture.
Feels like a bye week.
It does. It's just, we got to play these games just to play. But it's a couple of games. You know, we have the Syracuse Notre Dame game, and we went to see UCF wants us to see what they're made out of when they play a ranked team.
This only going to add to G's point. They get a primetime game, and that's probably going to add to his point of why they should get more respect.
They should. I think they should. And watch, they're going to play well. They're going to end up blowing this team out. Either they're going to blow them out or it's going to be a competitive game. They're going to win it, which gives them ratings. Oh, why shouldn't they be? You know. But if they blow this team out, then let's give them more respect.
Well, Cincinnati said you're not giving them respect by calling them this team.
So what has Cincinnati done besides the Bengals? Let me stop. Anyway, if y'all Cincinnati, okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm Mr. Controversy. Come on, I tell it like it is. We tell the truth and shame the devil. But yeah, this is big for them, man. They have to come. This is their chance. We're serious. Now, let me ask you, can you see them, if they come out and blow them out and nothing happens as far as them moving up or anything, do you see them in a couple of years, the committee saying, you know what, or the NCAA, let's move them to a different conference?
That's the only way they go get some respect.
They would have to influence UCF to move to another conference. If they are like completely dominating, like I don't think they're completely dominating. But they are winning.
Right.
Like with Boise State, they didn't. I mean, they went from the WAC to the Mountain West. So I mean, Central Florida is not going to move to a Power 5 conference. It's not going to happen like that.
Mm-hmm. No.
But look, Cincinnati's 9-1. So
I'm trying to say
that's what I'm saying. This is a big. That's why I say
it's a big game, but I don't think even if they blow them out, it doesn't mean that they're going to that maybe they should consider moving to another conference.
I mean, if they blow them out and they're not getting respect, why not?
Because it's Cincinnati, like you said.
Look.
Are they in the McDonald's Tech or the Chick-fil-A?
No, they're not. I mean,
Chick-fil-A State?
No, they're not in that
Nothing
state.
like that.
No.
You sure?
Well, Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Nah, they're 24. They're ranked 24.
But you called them that team earlier?
I just said the team. I didn't mention them.
Okay,
no, I'm
right.
saying I didn't mention them.
Right. Yeah,
whoever said it took it like that.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, first, before we get into this Notre Dame-Syracuse game, let's get with our nosy neighbor watch. H.O., who is your nosy neighbor watch?
Well, speaking of UCF.
Great segue.
Speaking of UCF, listen, we talked about this Wednesday on the show, and if they go undefeated for a second straight year, how do you see them? So it's time to get around the fire pit and watch this for real, because they on a 22-game win streak now. Mm-hmm. I would assume 2 more games, which is 3 more games
for Central Florida.
Yeah.
After Cincinnati, they have South Florida and then the AAC championship,
then the bowl game.
Right.
So they can possibly go 25, 26-0 in 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
I mean, so my question would be, how would the nation view that run? Is it relevant? Is it respectful? Is it mind-boggling? So that's what I'm waiting to see. I'm watching for that. How will the nation respond to a team that has won, who hadn't lost a game in 2 years? So
you can only get better with competition.
Yeah, so that's my nosy neighbor, and I'm anxiously waiting to see how that turns out.
My nosy neighbor watch is Eric Dungy, the Syracuse Orange quarterback. Big game against Notre Dame. The thing is, this is your chance to be put on national stage because us. Be real. I mean, only reason why people know who you are right now, as far as Syracuse, because of what you did last year when you beat Clemson. Dang, the last time Syracuse was relevant was Donovan McNabb. And right now they're playing very well. They're ranked number 12. So, Dungy, what are you going to do? I'm peeking to see, hey, maybe, you know what I'm saying, your ability to run the ball, this guy that can, he's not a great passer, but he can throw the ball, but then you have the ability to run. He has 12 rushing touchdowns. So this is your chance to show what you can do. Maybe get a spot on an NFL team, or maybe even put your team in a spot where if you beat Notre Dame, now you might be listed as a contender. You might not get in, but listed as one of the contenders because you beat a number 3 ranked Notre Dame team. Then they would have to play the winner of they had to play Clemson, right? Are they in the same conference?
Yeah, but Pittsburgh won that.
No, Pittsburgh, yeah, they did win.
They won on that side.
That's right. Pittsburgh already won it. That's why I don't like college football. But either or, well, not college football. I hate that rule, though. But I'm saying this is their chance to make a name for themselves.
Clemson and Syracuse are on the same division.
They are? Okay.
Yeah,
it's a top, they lost that.
Only the big 10, 12, the best top 2 teams play.
Top 2 teams, yeah. So, now, speaking of that game, I think it's a possibility that Notre Dame could lose.
They playing in Yankee Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
It's cold.
It's cold.
Syracuse is in New York, so the home crowd would be on Syracuse side.
Syracuse is licking their chops for some certain type of ribs.
Yeah, they trying to get some, and they are 10-point underdog,
right.
Which is I don't know.
And when I say ribs, I'm talking about in-book ribs,
right.
Because his ribs are bruised right now. So it's going to be interesting. So do you think that Notre Dame can be the first team to get knocked out? Or who do you think has the best chance of being knocked out of the playoff teams?
This week or just
going period, going down?
I think Georgia has a tougher game against Georgia Tech than Notre Dame against Syracuse. Mm-hmm. I think the Georgia Tech game is something to watch for. I think Georgia Tech can actually go in they've won in Athens the last couple of years. I think Georgia Tech can go to Athens and upset Georgia.
And let's be real, man. The way Georgia Tech is playing,
I'm telling you, it's
like I don't know what Paul Johnson told them, but they are playing ball. And then we know if you continuously run the ball and you're successful, that defense getting tired quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think Georgia could possibly be the first team to lose. It would be easy for me to say Auburn, Alabama, but Auburn.
But Georgia, they got 2 chances because they have to play. They have to play Alabama, and then this game, and they still have to play Florida, right?
No, they have to beat Florida.
Who do they play next week?
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Okay, yeah, Georgia Tech. I'm tripping. Yeah,
Georgia Tech.
So Georgia Tech, then Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they do have the. Like, man, they're fighting for their lives.
But the thing about it is, could you say that Georgia is overlooking Georgia Tech because they know they're going to play Alabama anyway?
And you can't do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Because this is a rivalry. I don't know, because this is a rivalry, though. This is a rival. And Georgia Tech always play well in Athens.
You need about a month and a half to prepare for Alabama with no competition. They got UMass today, but they got to play Georgia Tech next week, bro. It ain't no easy game.
Right.
So I think Georgia, I mean, it's easy to say Notre Dame and Syracuse because of, they it's a neutral site and Syracuse the hot team. And I'm pretty sure if Dino Babers win this game, he might be out of there. Somebody go come call.
Right. Well, like you said, this is the best week to get prepared. So they play Popeye's Chicken Tech this week. Then you got Georgia Tech, and you got Alabama. So we'll see what they do. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Gary Payton. Y'all listen to 3 Point Conversion Radio. It's the bomb.
What's up, world? This is Vincent J, aka the Fantasy Guru, and here are your fantasy facts heading to Week 11. Baltimore Ravens running back Alex Collins comes in as a great flex play this weekend. He's playing against the Cincinnati Bengals, who in their first meeting had 35 rushing yards and 55 receiving yards. With quarterback Joe Flacco out this game, rookie Lamar Jackson is in line for his first NFL start, and they will rely heavy on the run. One player who I benched this week is Washington Redskins tight end Jordan Reed. At some point, Reed will find the end zone again this year, but he has not scored a touchdown since week 1. They're playing against the Houston Texans this weekend. They allowed just one touchdown from a tight end since week 4, and it's just hard to trust Reed until he starts playing on a consistent level. My sleeper pick this week is Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Josh Reynolds. With Cooper Kupp out for the year with a torn ACL, Reynolds is heading for an even bigger role. The last time Kupp was out in Week 8 against Green Bay, Reynolds had 3 catches for 42 yards and 2 touchdowns on 5 targets. This weekend is a fantasy dream matchup at home against the Kansas City Chiefs, so Reynolds should get plenty of looks. Now, if you want to check out more fantasy facts and my ahs and ahs, make sure you continue to follow me on the web at the 3pointconversion.com.
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the newest music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app. iHeartRadio. Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country, and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
Yes, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Time to talk some NBA basketball. We talked about the drama, but now we need to get as far as into what's going on in the NBA. And what other person better to do that than our special guest, who's really not a guest, my man from around the association, Danny Thompson, who also covers the Orlando Magic. What's up, Danny? Danny, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, sir?
Good morning, fellas. Good morning. How's it going?
What's going on, Danny?
It's in Orlando today. It's probably the best day the city has had since my existence. We got game day going on at UCF. We got the Florida Classic with A&M and Bethune-Cookman at 2, and some guy named LeBron's playing tonight down here. So on top of national televised football game, it's a great day down here.
I know it is. I know it's packing crazy down there.
Wow.
I know it is. So, look, we're about to get into this NBA, and my first question is, we're here in Atlanta. We see Trigger Trey, and he's doing well to some. Some down here feels like he's still not worth it. Can you tell me your assessment on him, and then also what other rookie or rookies are standing out to you?
Well, if you look at Trae Young, I think he's actually doing fine. The shooting is not there, but there's one thing that people don't really talk about. Those are his assist numbers. They're extremely high for a rookie. No rookie has come in here in a while and put in 8-9 assists a game, and he does that on a regular basis. So he's just not just trying to score 25 points a game. The one thing that was underrated by him in Oklahoma was his playmaking ability. People saw the long-range shots in the 30 and 40-point games he put in Oklahoma. But don't forget how many 9, 10, 11 assists, 13 assist games he had at Oklahoma last year. The guy, I think he led the country to scoring and assists last year. And he's doing the same thing in Atlanta. So for the Hawks fans that are kind of like, okay, why is this guy drafted? You got to understand the point guard position, other than center, is the hardest position to learn in the NBA because, number one, the NBA is loaded at point guards. There's a point guard every night with the exception of maybe 5 teams in the league that will eat you alive on a regular basis. And 2, it's hard for a rookie point guard to make a superly huge impact in year number 1 compared to any other position. So I think he's fine.
All right, Danny, this H.O., man, I definitely got a question for you. I'm pretty sure you saw some of this game last night, so I'm going to keep it in the East. Boston, some say they maybe got too much depth. Some say they need to figure out some time for these other guys. But my question to you is, do you think they have too much depth, or do you think they need to trade someone to kind of balance that time and time a little more?
The one thing Danny Ainge is trying to figure out is the health of Kyrie Irving. Because, with Kyrie Irving and Terry Rozier both being free agents at the end of the summer, Danny's got to pick one because you can't choose both because you pretty much pigeonhole Marcus Smart into the future when you signed him last summer. So, yeah, in hindsight, it's good to trade somebody in that backcourt to free more time up. But I don't think you could really never have too much depth in the NBA, because it's always like we learned with Boston last year. Boston lost Gordon Hayward, 5 minutes into the season?
Yep.
They were cruising fine. Kyrie Irving gets hurt in February and misses the rest of the season. And those kids had to develop faster and mature faster than Boston would have ever hoped. On top of that, yes, Boston has more assets than anything else, and they also control potentially 2 other lottery picks in the draft. So, yeah, if they want to go make a deal for Anthony Davis, quote unquote, they can. But I think with Gordon Hayward still not 100% and Kyrie Irving just getting himself back into the swing of things, I think it's just too early. November is too early. If we're talking like closer to the deadline and still having these issues, then yeah. But right now, it's too early.
Okay.
Let them figure it out.
Gotcha.
And once again, we're here live with Danny Thompson from the Roundy Association. And Danny, you can find Danny on Twitter or Instagram at, I don't know if it's the same Danny on Instagram, but it's at Danny3Thompson. And
yeah, that's on Twitter, and Instagram is DT_30 on Instagram.
Because I know that used to be Twitter also, but I noticed it changed. But yeah, you all can follow him. This man knows his NBA, knows all sports, but definitely knows his NBA. This is the man when it comes to basketball. So Danny, now we talked about Melo a little bit. We basically talked about, how what happened and why it happened in his career, in the past. But, I mean, he still can play. Where do you think he ends up? And what is a good place for him?
Well, the good news with the Rockets is they're trying to find a home for him, a.k.a. we're trying to find some kind of value without having to cut this man. If you're looking at it right now, there's only 2 teams, and I'm going to throw a third team out there too, and they're all in the East. Because I don't think anybody in the West really can give him what he's looking for. And I think Philadelphia is one spot. Reason being, with Dario Saric being traded to Minnesota, the only other power forward option you have on the roster is really Wilson Chandler, and he's more of an undersized 4. On top of Wilson Chandler, they have Jonah Bolden, and you have Amir Johnson. None of those guys really will scare you. Amir Johnson fouls more than he grabs rebounds per 48 minutes. Jonah Bolden is still a rookie. So if you're looking for that last piece, Carmelo can slide right into the 4 and also at the same time help out that Philly bench because outside of J.J. Redick, they do have issues with scoring the basketball, with the Markelle Fultz situation and among other guys. The other team I've been hearing is the Miami Heat. Well, because, Dwayne Wade's down there and Wade would love to have Carmelo down there. But the one thing with the Heat is that the Heat don't even have James Johnson back. So that's another forward that's going to take up minutes, and they're still trying to figure out what to do with Bam Adebayo. They're still trying to figure out how to play Kelly Olynyk and get all those guys together. But Melo would give them another option, especially another scorer when you get in the playoffs. Because I'm not sold on Josh Richardson being the lead guy down there. Now my sleeper team I've been hearing in the last 48 hours has been the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets have been playing better than what most people expected, including myself. Charlotte has told teams around the league, don't even inquire about Kemba Walker. We are planning on keeping Kemba Walker. So what do? Charlotte's had issues since the beginning of time scoring the basketball. So what do you go out there to grab? A guy who thinks all about scoring, a guy who has no conscience scoring. And especially Marvin Williams has not been playing anywhere close to where Marvin Williams has been. They don't have anything at the power forward position. So if Melo's willing to play power forward, I think those are the three spots that are the best fits for him, especially either Philadelphia or Charlotte.
Wow, that's pretty heavy there. That's some great information. Well, speaking of point guards and the East, Washington Wizards. Who needs to go, Beal or Walls? Straight to the point.
Wow. Besides Ernie Grunwell, the one that needs to go, Wall needs to go. Beal's likely to go. There we go.
Oh, okay.
That's deep. Yeah. Wall needs to go with Beal.
Likely, yeah, exactly. I listen. I'm with it.
Well, speaking of the Wizards, should they just blow the whole team up? What do you think the chances are that they just blow the whole thing up and start over?
You're going to have to find, I hate to say this, guys, you're going to have to find two suckers to take on Otto Porter and John Wall's contract. That's just really what it is. Because Otto Porter's contract is almost, when Washington signed him, Sean Marks should have got GM of the year. Whoever put the offer sheet out for Porter, I think it was Sacramento or Washington, Brooklyn, that GM should be GM of the year because it put the Washington Wizards so far over the tax, they can't do anything. John Wall's contract extension does not kick in until July, and it's to the point where I think it was almost $43 million when he turned 32 years old. You have to find two teams that are willing to take on those two contracts. I think Washington doesn't want to trade back Beal. Beal's a very, very good guy in the locker room. He's a guy that, does not have the personality of John Wall, let's just say that. And, he's a little bit easier to maintain. And on the flip side is you can get more for Beal than you get for the other two guys on the roster. Dwight Howard was just a fixture because they had nobody at center. And I really think in my heart of hearts that John Wall wanted DeMarcus Cousins. But the Wizards need to win now. And you really cannot base your future on a guy that potentially is not back until at least February. And we only know what you're going to get when you get him in February. So the only other trade piece you have besides Beal is Kelly Oubre. And I know the Wizards don't want to trade Oubre. They love it. They love the potential they have in Oubre. So unless you can try to trade Otto Porter and probably either take your losses and not get exactly what you're looking for, you're going to have to move one of those two guys. It's going to be a hard job to sell to get like Wall or Porter out of there without keeping a trade deal.
All right. Appreciate the heavy stuff, sir. Make sure you come back. We appreciate Danny Thompson for coming on. And like I said, man, keep your phone ready because we're going to need you a lot more this season, all right?
Hey, at the same time, I heard about a battleground last week with some host that was stepping into the ring. So, Raph, if you really want to do this, you know where to find me.
I got you, sir. You've been wanting this forever, so I got you. Hey, I just got to get more practice. This I did one time. It's not easy. But all right, man, we appreciate you for coming on, man.
All right, Danny.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
AM 1100. The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. Go to ReadyGov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's going on, sports fans? It's the 2018 Battlegrounds champion, Damian Adams, from The Real Deal with Damian Adams. Now, you can catch my show weekly on the 3-Point Conversion station on Spreaker Radio. But for right now, I'm doing what everybody else should be doing, and that's listening to Mr. Controversy and The Intellectual in the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge.
No mercy. Don't let up on him. Go hard on him, Mr. Controversy. Hit him with the stop it button.
All right. We thank you all for listening and being with us throughout the beginning. Like I said, this is a time we always like to thank our followers, supporters, friends, and families. We thank you for keeping us grounded and just, supporting us and sharing. We definitely appreciate that. So now it is time for the most infamous, the most famous Stop It segment. Let's get it.
Stop it! 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 Stop it!
Yes, S-T-O-P, new word, I-T. Stop it!
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, H.O., it's on you. What is your stop it moment, sir?
Man, I hate to keep going back to this. And I guess somebody had made a phone call and said, Wednesday, boy, you got so passionate about this, so I'm going to try to keep it cool this morning. My stop it goes out to Vic Beasley of the Atlanta Falcons, who on the season has played the entire game or the entire season. Did you know that Deion Jones, who has only played 3 quarters for the whole season, 3,
right,
and Deion Jones still has more tackles than Vic Beasley?
Stop it.
So for that, sir.
Oh, wait, say that stat again.
Okay, one more time. Vic Beasley gets my stop it. He's played the entire season this year in 9 games.
Mm-hmm.
Deion Jones, who's been hurt the first game of the season, only played 3 quarters of the first game. As of today, and probably after Monday, Deion Jones has more tackles than Vic Beasley, and that's why Vic Beasley gets my stop it.
Wow.
Stop it.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
And this is his contract year.
This is his contract year. Can I get one more stop it for him? Wow.
Stop it.
Thank you.
Is that amazing or what?
That's amazing. No,
Right.
that's pitiful.
Pitiful.
All right, my stop it goes to Minnesota Timberwolves coach and president Tom Thibodeau. Now, I'm not saying this because I am a Heat fan, but I feel like it was a better offer. So the Heat they gave him 2 different packages as far as Jimmy Butler. Goran Dragic, Justice Winslow, and a first-round pick. And also Josh Richardson, Bam Adebayo, and a first-round pick. So I feel like those packages were better because you get the first-round pick, but to end up with Covington and Saric, who may or may not be broken, and a second-round pick 3 years from now, which isn't going to matter, I don't think. I think that's why Tom Thibodeau gets a stop it. And this should be the end of the coach and the president being the same person for an NBA team.
Right.
Stop it.
I said that like I saw a second round pick. First I'm like, why did he get a second round pick? Then I saw it was like 2035. I'm like, what? What? That doesn't make sense. Like, what would they?
Do they see somebody who's in high school right now? Like, oh, he's going to fall to the second round and we're going to get him. I don't know what they think.
Yeah. Wow. All right, I have two. We're going to make it quick. So, first topic goes to Syracuse. So, Syracuse Orange, the basketball team, you know their coach, Jim Boeheim, right? Been coached for, 27 years?
Oh, no.
20
No, like
30
40.
or 40 something,
yeah.
whatever.
He's past Coach K with that.
That's right. Right, because Coach K is what? 38, something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
I know you
Jim
going with
Boeheim's son
Buddy.
plays for Syracuse. His name is Buddy Boeheim. And he entered the game, and they spelled his name on the back of his jersey incorrectly. He has the same last name as the head coach who's been there since Jesus died on the cross. And you spelled the son's name incorrectly.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Stop. That person should get, and it came from the then they were name telling like, well, I didn't do it. It came from the organization. They was pointing fingers. Like, and my last topic is, so Patrick Mahomes, I'll say this part. I'll be fair and say that, you know, he was doing an interview and he said he liked ketchup. He liked ketchup on his macaroni and cheese, which is gross. He should get a stop it. Can I get a stop it for that? Ketchup and macaroni and cheese. But anyway, he was just talking. So Hans 57, you know, the ketchup business company, said that if Patrick Mahomes throws for 57 touchdowns, which is out this world a record, right? Blows the record away, we will give him a lifetime supply of ketchup.
Stop it.
A lifetime supply of ketchup? Bruh, I could buy my own ketchup. Can y'all give me a deal? I'll take a deal.
So I don't know who is in their marketing department, but if he throws 57 touchdowns, I mean, that is a marketing campaign,
right?
That you can only dream
right.
of.
But you say we will give you a lifetime supply of ketchup.
They must not have any money. They can't afford to endorse him, so we can just give you product.
But I couldn't believe that. I'm like, what kind of a? Would y'all be happy if y'all got a lifetime supply of ketchup?
No.
Thank you.
I don't eat ketchup.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, right.
Maybe the president, he puts ketchup on a steak, which is just awful.
Can we get a stop it to Major Applewhite too?
What?
For
hitting on Ed Oliver about a jacket?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna talk about that later on in a
well,
segment called "What's on My Mind."
Yeah,
but yeah, he gets to stop it though.
Yeah, for that.
Yeah, he
for
does.
Sure.
He does.
Stop it.
Oh, real quick, Jim Boeheim also played at Syracuse, so he's been around the school since 1963.
Yeah.
So 55 years, and they spelled his last name wrong.
Wow,
that's pretty bad.
That's crazy. So he went through 2 depressions as a Syracuse Orange. Y'all can't spell his name right.
Whoever thought, they probably didn't know. They probably thought it was pronounced Bohemian or something.
Right. Exactly. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Let me break down to y'all what's so dope about the three-point conversion. First of all, everybody is a fan of the game first. Second of all, everybody is a student of the game second. And third of all, we're the average sports fan just like everybody else. We're not coming in here, walking with our nose tipped high, acting snooty, acting brand new. This is a grassroots organization. Bar none. The three-point conversion, where fans' opinions matter. Be sure to visit the website www.the3pointconversion.com. Get your fix, get your articles, multimedia, and everything else that you, as a sports fan, need. So again, the3pointconversion.com. It's where it's at, man, where fans' opinions matter.
Your radio.
Tune in.
Now.
You can tune in to this radio station on any smartphone or tablet.
iPhone,
Android,
BlackBerry,
Nokia,
Samsung,
Windows phones,
or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store.
Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy.
From over 70,000 radio stations around the world, including this Beasley Broadcast Group station. Check it out at TuneIn.com
or your app store.
Whether it's quick hits, what's on my mind, the infamous Stop It segment, you got to be there every Saturday morning on the 3-Point Conversion station for the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge hosted by Mr. Controversy. Get him!
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. We already know that you, I guess we might as well not say what we're doing this weekend because, well, maybe we should because maybe I think it's a podcast we got later on. But I was going to say, we know that you're smoking a stogie, H.O., and
probably
G is probably taking a nap. G, what you got going on this weekend?
Well, I'll be at Sports Roundtable Saturday.
There you go.
Which will be at the Big Easy Grill, 1193 Collier Road. Come by. We'll be there from 12:30 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Watch some football, eat some shrimp, talk some sports.
On the bye week. But once I leave there, I'm gonna definitely go and partake and relax.
In a what?
With a stogie.
See,
yeah, that's the life. That's the life of that's the life you live when you're a Duke fan.
Hey, boy, I'm inviting you on the show when D come back, whether he back or not. When Duke lose, you coming on this show to explain yourself.
No. But that's the problem. When we win, call me on the show as well. Don't keep that same energy. Ain't that how the thing goes?
Oh man,
keep that same energy.
All right, I'm not doing anything. I'm getting the car fixed and getting ready for my Bears this Sunday night. Big game. Top 5 in offense, top 5 in defense. Come holler at your boy. All right, so let's get into this NFL. I'm just leave it up to you. Minute or so. Falcons 4-5. Embarrassing loss. Can they still make this run? It's possible, right?
They're on life support. They, for the playoffs, they're on life support, 20% chance. Luckily, the NFC side has been awful, god awful. They're playing the Cowboys team that, must be desired. They hadn't made a playoff since in 22 years, so that's a whole nother story. But hopefully we could pull this off Sunday against the Cowboys. Hope they don't overlook them to try to get to the Saints like they did the Browns. But it's tough to be a Falcons fan right now because I just don't understand how you take a team like you can't afford to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Not when you're 4-4. You're not 8-1 when you can overlook somebody and just disrespectfully just say, well, it's just the Browns.
No, you're right.
So
we'll see what happens. Like
I'm
I said,
hopeful.
they have a chance. A lot of teams that are vying for NBA spot. I mean, a playoff spot.
Yeah,
so.
well, and then I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about this, but
Seattle
helped.
Right. Seattle helped you all, like with the Packers, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring up the Packers. They lost. I slept good that night. Yes. And I keep saying everybody wants to crown them as a Super Bowl contender when they're not. They do this every year. When the last time they made the Super Bowl?
2010.
Who?
How many times has Rodgers made the Super Bowl?
Once.
2010. Mm-hmm. Why do we keep crowning them as Super Bowl contenders? They're not. Or putting them, they're not. They do the same thing. They have a good record. The last few years they hadn't. They have a good record, decent record, and they lose in the first round. So I don't know. But Rodgers is beasting. Rodgers, I hate him when it comes to football. I do. So is he wasting his time in Green Bay, or is it now it's time to get rid of McCarthy? What is it?
Well, it depends. Like, have you seen his salary lately? Because it's not a waste of time to make.
Well, he get paid. You know, anybody will pay. They will cut their other superstar just to pay him.
I think that it's kind of wearing out in Green Bay with the McCarthy Rodgers deal. It's not like, I mean, you always kind of compare those relationships to like a Sean Payton and Drew Brees and like a Josh McDaniels and Brady, or Belichick and Brady, whichever one you want to choose. But I think this is the one relationship out of those three that's getting old, is getting a lot of attention. McCarthy calls the plays, then he hires offensive coordinator, then he takes the play. You know, you're going back and forth. They lost Ted Thompson as the GM this past year. He was very passive in getting talent to Green Bay to try to help that situation. So you can say that for a couple of years, you know, Ted Thompson didn't do anything to improve that team around Rodgers, and it showed.
And I'll say this. You made a great point about that. But it's like, because I guarantee you Rodgers don't want to start over with another. No. It's too late in his career to say, bring me another coach.
It would have to be a situation in which the team is just a quarterback away from being in the Super Bowl. Right. Like, I don't think Jacksonville is going to get Aaron Rodgers, but if he played on Jacksonville, they're Super Bowl contender.
Right. But I'm saying, like, even bringing in another coach, you don't want to do that because he's too far.
Yeah, only if you promote from within, but I don't know who they got.
Right. That's the only way. So, basically, Packers are screwed. Good.
And the thing about it is normally it's funny, the GM and the coach normally is like the package deal.
Right.
So when Thompson stepped down, did that put more pressure on McCarthy to deliver the goods?
I think that will, regardless. It doesn't matter who it is. If a new GM comes in,
he's going to want his own guy.
Right.
Yeah. That's another way to look at it. Maybe where there's smoke instead of LA, there's smoke in Green Bay.
Either or. I'm smiling. So I will be smiling Monday night because it's going to be a huge game. Doesn't this give you that feeling? Remember how it was back in the day? Monday nights was always the big game. Now it's Sunday night football, but this Monday night, this is a big game. Like 9-1 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And we discussed this about 2 weeks ago. Who's the better team?
Yeah,
it's here now. Both 9-1.
Yep.
Your assessment?
Throw at Marcus Peters.
Ooh.
I mean,
ouch.
Listen, what Kansas City has done is beyond remarkable. I know Andy Reid has kind of been in somewhat of the boat of a McCarthy, starting in Philadelphia. In some of the Chief years, he's done the same thing. So, for him to have these kind of weapons, and supposedly LA Rams supposed to have this great front four and these secondary guys, and they put a lot of money into their defense. It's like their defense, they wasted money. It looks as if they wasted money, and I think these are the type of games that the defense needs to show up rather than the offense to prove that we did not make a mistake in the offseason. Can you stop? This is why we paid you. We need you to make stops in this biggest game. But unfortunately, I think it's not going to happen. I think Kansas City scores over 30 points. I think Tyreek Hill is just – he might need to be on the MVP list.
Stop it. He all right, man. He's good. Not MVP list.
So you might want to pull up his stats. He might need to be on the MVP. It's almost an effect.
He got
where
like 35 catches. I mean, now he might have 1,500
yards. How you have
right.
to game plan for him.
So I just want to get my 3 cents in 10 seconds. I think that the Rams, I think they don't win, man, this game just because of their defense is hurting. If Marcus Peters step up, that's it. But look, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back. We're going to talk some more football, but not necessarily and who's going to win, who's not. It's going to be on our weekend injury report. We have Dr. Fowler from Atlanta Ortho coming in. He's going to give us analysis on players that are injured and how it would affect him and the team. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Diana Taurasi from the Phoenix Mercury, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
Did you know that the Real 1100 has a Facebook page? Visit facebook.com/Real1100 to keep up with your favorite shows, videos, photos, upcoming events, and more. That's facebook.com/Real1100, giving you more of the real. The real.
Hey, what's going on? It's your man Terrell Thomas. We out here right now. Big up, shout out to the 3-Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And the segment, Weekend Injury Report. It's going to be fun, man. I'm glad about this because now if you're a fan, especially right now with football, college football, NFL, it depends on your team. You know, you want to know what's going on with this significant player. Is, you know, this injury, they're saying he might be slated to play. How it's going to affect your team. But if you're into fantasy, and when we talk about the NFL players, this is huge because now you will know, should I start them or, yeah, I'm going to start them. When the injury report come in, they're questionable and they're going to play. Just because they play doesn't mean that they're going to succeed, or it could mean that it's okay. And we got our friend, an orthopedic surgeon for Ortho Atlanta, my guy, Dr. Fowler. What's going on today, sir?
Hey, thanks for having me back. Good to be here.
Yes, it's good to have you here. And let's jump right to it. For many weeks, we've been talking about Tua. And I'm going to say his name, Tagovailoa. So I've been trying to say that. I'm
just going to say Tua.
I don't want to try to say it. But anyway, with Tua, he's had a sprained knee. He's been nursing a sprained knee. And Nick Saban, you know, he says he's going to play. If you're able to play, you're going to play. Do you think it's worse than what it is? And then should Alabama sit him for the entire game against Citadel?
Yeah, so obviously a big deal. I think a lot of people feel Alabama is indestructible unless something happens to Tua. I mean, certainly can make a case, I'd say, for Clemson as being a complete team, but a lot of focus on Tua. You know, they call it a knee sprain. It's hard to really say what that truly means unless you've actually seen the MRI, but usually it means there is some stretching to the ligament, not completely torn. that was early October that happened. So we're about 6 weeks in to, I guess, when this injury first happened. That's about the normal time course for a ligament if it's stretched or partially torn to heal if it doesn't need surgery, which in this case it didn't. He took that hit the other week too and had to come out. If you slow it down, it does look like it was into the quad and truly was a quad contusion. I don't think they're trying to cover anything up. He seems to say he's good enough to even play out of the brace now, which I'm curious to see if he. Well, I'm assuming he's going to play, and if he does play, if he's wearing that brace or not. But I do think you have to look kind of full, long term with the season. You're playing the Citadel. I think one of us could go out and play quarterback for Alabama, and you still win. So, Jalen Hurts is still recovering from his ankle. He's not ready yet. You gotta. I think it's Mac Jones or
Matt Jones.
Matt Jones, yeah.
Who has a little bit of experience, who I'm sure is perfectly capable to run the offense against Citadel. So I guess it comes down to your confidence. If you're really trying to look out for the team, I think he's probably healthy enough to play, but I don't know if it's worth the risk to trot him out against the Citadel.
I was looking at the bracing real quick. I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on the actual brace. It looks like it has the little tool, the things on it.
The dials. On
the
the
dials
side,
that
yeah.
looks as if it was, I don't want it to move in any kind of direction. Just your thoughts on that real quick.
Yeah, so it's kind of has the hinges on the side, the custom brace, and that's more to prevent the side-to-side kind of shifting. Obviously, it still lets you bend your knee back and forth, front to back, but none of the side-to-side varus valgus. So, again, they never said whether it was MCL, ACL, what ligament was sprained, what was actually sprained, but that does do a pretty good job protecting all of them. It's not a fail-safe, but it's better than nothing.
So, basically, sit him against Wabahouse University. That's just sit him.
Yeah. I mean, Nick Saban knows a lot better than I do, obviously.
They just need to sit him. That's all I'm saying. Just sit him.
Saban went off on the other day at the press conference.
Yeah.
Saying this
Right,
is
he went off. He did.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. We talked about Ian Book earlier in the show. He missed last week. I guess Mr. Kelly understands how important his season is.
Yeah.
But it looks like Book has some bruised ribs, and he's playing against a high flying Syracuse team today. Just want to get your thoughts on, does ribs really affect how you run, how you pass, and does he protect himself throughout this game, knowing that these guys could be coming for his ribs?
Yeah, no, and definitely ribs are a big deal. First, I was going to say it's kind of funny. Who would have thought coming to the season you'd be more worried about Syracuse than Florida State last week, kind of thing. But whether ribs are bruised or cracked, it's really painful. I mean, just taking a breath. If anyone's had a rib injury, it hurts. Let alone cough, sneeze, and then think about someone 250 pounds hitting you full blast. So, I mean, the good news is it's never anything that needs surgery, but it can be very painful. Usually, they're in some kind of flak jacket with extra padding, plastic, to give as much protection as possible. But it certainly can be a very uncomfortable thing to play through. I think he'll be okay. I think it was wise sitting him out last week, at least giving him about 2 weeks to recover. But we'll see how he does.
Does the cold weather have any effect on an injury like the ribs because they're playing in New York?
Yeah, I mean, it can. Certainly the muscles around it will be a little tighter and stiffer, those intercostal muscles between the ribs. So certainly that can lead to some soreness. Some players with rib injuries will even consider doing kind of numbing injection, some kind of anesthetic, or even cortisone. I'm not saying they're doing this in Book's case or anything like that, but sometimes if the pain is bad enough, they will do kind of an anesthetic type shot in that area because it's not anything you risk damaging worse. It's not like your knee where you're numbing up the knee and then someone's going to blow it out. But yeah, ribs are one of the more painful things out there to injure.
So, and quickly, will he be? So, do you think he's effective today? Do you think?
I think he will be, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, last one. NFL, A.J. Green, he was out last week with a toe injury. They say it's turf toe. Many people don't understand what turf toe is. I've actually had one, and it's painful. how effective can he be, especially with the cuts and everything? And I guess when it comes to Cincinnati, of course, they're going to put him out there. They need him. But being a fantasy owner, do you trust him? If you have a backup wide receiver on the bench that you can put in for him, or do you stick with AJ?
Yeah, so I think you kind of put it in perspective. I mean, people, I feel like, maybe don't understand the seriousness of a turf toe when you're a football player. What that means is you've injured, at least partially torn, some of the ligaments underneath your big toe. And that might sound silly, but if you think about it, the big toe is the last point of contact that your body has to the ground when you're pushing off for that explosive maneuver. So if you can't do that because of pain, you've lost your first step, you've lost your quickness, your ability to cut. So it's definitely a big deal. Now they're saying, at least 2 games. He went up and saw Bob Anderson, who's the guru of foot and ankle surgery, who was at Carolina. Now he's up with the Packers. So, I mean, he knows the foot better than anyone. But even if he comes back and he's already missed 1 game, even if he comes back, next week, I don't think he's going to be the same player, maybe even the rest of the season. He's not going to be as quick coming off the line. So it is something to watch. So as far as fantasy goes, I think it depends a little bit on what other options you have on your bench.
So I'm going to make this interesting because I know we got to go.
Yep.
So what if you have – so if I have him and Boyd, Tyler Boyd,
Yep.
should I start Boyd?
I go Boyd. Yeah, I would go Boyd until he proves himself.
What if I just picked up Anthony Miller? Should I start Anthony Miller over him?
Over AJ Green?
Yeah.
This week?
This week. Because they play in Baltimore too now.
Yeah, that's tough. Miller went off last week.
Right.
I might go, if you're playing Boyd too, I find it hard to start 2 Bengals receivers.
Okay.
I might go Miller and Boyd.
All right. So there you have it. Get used to this. This is good information. Like I said, if you're a fantasy owner, you want to know this. And then if you just follow the team, college, NFL, whoever, you'll get to know what to expect from your player, your favorite player or the player of your team. We appreciate you, Dr. Fowler. And once again, orthopedic surgeon from Ortho Atlanta. And we will have him back hopefully next week. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
What's up, man? It's Meta World Peace. Shout out to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
Are you tired of limiting yourself from tasty food because you want to eat healthy? Well, Salad Express will fix that problem for you. Salad Express is a gourmet salad and grill restaurant that gives you multiple options to satisfy your taste buds and keep you healthy. They have over 40 toppings, which are all cut fresh daily, and 7 homemade soups, including chili. You can also order hot sandwiches and wraps, with choices like grilled chicken, steak, salmon, and shrimp, which can all be added to salad as well. Go ahead and visit them today at 1055 Mansell Road, Suite 600 in Roswell, Georgia. Your taste buds will thank you.
Hi, I'm Cole Johnson of Cole Sports, and you're checking out the 3-Point Conversion. Keep it locked.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. It is time for the weekend picks. And we're going to go, H.O., I'm going to go with you first. So, who is your upset of the week?
I'm going Oklahoma State beating West Virginia. In Stillwater.
Why do you say that, sir?
This late in the season, Oklahoma State seems to play pretty well all the time for whatever reason. And then I just read a stat line that said the West Virginia coach is 1-7 after covering the spread in the last three spreads that are 3 and 4 out of the last 4 games. So 0-9 after trying to cover a spread in 3 consecutive conference games.
Mm.
So there's some stats that they're calling them the trendy stats, but Oklahoma State played Oklahoma very well.
Okay.
And so they're at home, and I think West Virginia could be overlooking them because I think they know they got to play Oklahoma pretty soon.
All right, so my upset of the week is Jacksonville Jaguars upsetting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, the game is in Jacksonville. I just think that this is Jacksonville's last chance to salvage any type of season and to say that, hey, at least we did this.
Mm-hmm.
They have to beat Pittsburgh. And it's bragging rights. They beat Pittsburgh last year in the playoffs. And to do it again in Jacksonville. Well, it was in Jacksonville last year. No, it wasn't. So to do it again in Jacksonville would be that much more. So the defensive line is going to get to Big Ben. I mean, we know that. So I think that this is going to be an upset. You're going to hear Jalen. If you start seeing them talking mess to Antonio, then you're going to see it. They don't have Le'Veon also. So, I mean, I like Connor, but it's a totally different team. So, yeah, I have Jacksonville winning. All right, so who is your counterfeit team?
Florida Gators. South Carolina gave the game away last week. I mean, they up 31 to 17, I think, 14 or something like that. And I don't believe in Florida. And they got quarterback issues. They benched Frank. They brought him back. Still only threw for 176 yards. The defense has been carrying them the whole season, but then when they run into buzzsaw, like Georgia, they really no good. I just think that this win that they had against South Carolina was a fluke. So, and I hate to say that about the Gators, but it is what it is. I think they've had some quarterback issues since Tebow, basically. They have not had a decent quarterback
for real
since Tebow, and I don't know.
Give Chris Leak.
Well, he
before
graduated.
Tebow.
Yeah,
that's right. That was before Tebow. Yeah,
he came in because they won a championship.
That's
that year.
right, man. That's right.
So I mean, my thing is they have a lineage of quarterbacks in the history, but now that you talk about after Tebow, I can guarantee you cannot name a quarterback since Tebow.
Nope.
That's my point. So yeah, they
I can name one, but he plays somewhere else now.
Yeah, Trayon Jones, Trayon Harris. Trayon Harris, who beat Georgia.
There's Will Greer.
That's true.
That
actually stayed at Florida.
But that stayed.
Yeah, because Trayon Harris, who beat
at
Georgia.
Trey Burton, but he ended up changing
Cam
positions.
Come from? What team was he with?
Who?
Cam Newton.
He started off in Florida.
Yeah, Cam Newton. Nah, he didn't play that. I know. I'm just messing.
Yeah.
They had Trey Burton, but he ended up changing positions.
Exactly. Went to tight end.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Again, you just can't do it.
All right. My counterfeit team, Notre Dame. I just think they're not as good as we think they are. Then I want to go back to who have they played. They beat Michigan. That was the first game of the season. Shea didn't know what he was doing. He didn't understand the playbook. They look horrible. And since then, Michigan has gotten better each week. And finally, they're what we think, what they were supposed to be now. When they played Stanford was coming off a loss, I think, or they weren't. Stanford wasn't the team that we thought they were. Who have they played? Didn't they play Pittsburgh this year? Okay, but who? They play USC coming up, but USC's not good to me.
As G say, you play with who on your schedule.
So right, and my point is they have, which makes them they're counterfeit because I don't think they're not as good as they look. I don't think so. Syracuse is not a great team, but I still think it's a test. We'll see how they respond today. So
obviously, he don't understand the brand of the Irish. Hey, it's their own network.
No, yeah, I know that, right?
And to be honest, secretly, this is probably why we have the playoffs.
Right. It's on you, G.
All right, here we go.
You know how you just have that good feeling for a pick?
Do I feel lucky?
Yeah, that's this segment. It's time for Over Under with The Intellectual and Mr. Controversy, only on the 3-Point Conversion.
All right, so this is the Over Under segment in which we'll find a couple of games and look for some interesting prop bets if people want to put something on it. So we'll start with we have the Bengals. We'll talk about the Bengals and the Ravens this weekend, and we don't know who's starting at quarterback for the Ravens, but whoever it is, they'll be going against the league's worst defense. So the Bengals are giving up 454 yards a game, but the over-under is at 365. So do you think the Ravens will get 365 total yards against the Bengals? Over or under?
Man, that's tough.
That's tough. I say under. Because they're going to minimize the playbook, especially if Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I'm going to go under.
I mean, the playbook is minimized already, but they're going to...
Stop it with that, boy.
They're going to condense it even more. And I say under.
Yeah,
I still think that if Lamar Jackson plays, I think you're just going to see, a glimpse of like, man, this kid is something. This kid is something. He could be something. So I say under.
All right. The next one, Mahomes. Well, you talked about the Heinz ketchup in possible endorsement, not endorsement, but giving him a lifetime supply of ketchup. The over-under has been set in Vegas at 49.
What, bottles of ketchup?
Touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
So, would he finish the season with over or under 49
How
touchdowns?
many do you have now?
31.
I believe he's at 31.
31. He has like 7 games left. I think he gets
6
games left.
6 games.
I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go over. I think he breaks it.
Yeah, I'm going to go under.
Because he's going to get about 9 in this game here alone. In this Rams game.
If they wrap up the division, then he might not play much.
They can't. How they going to? Yeah, because San Diego's only 1 game behind them. Yeah, you got to play.
Yeah, they once they play them again and win. Okay, I'll sit down.
Okay, I got you. I got over.
All right, and the last one, Julio Jones has scored a touchdown in 2 consecutive games. So, this is a yes or no, really. Would he score in a 3rd consecutive game against Dallas?
Depends on if they throw another screen pass. If they throw another screen pass, he scores a touchdown.
I say yes, but the bigger question is, can Vic Beasley make a tackle or get a sack? But anyway, yeah.
I was looking for one. I was looking something like, is there something on Vic Beasley making a tackle?
How do you?
So it should be. You should have made your own. It should be. It should.
Will Vic Beasley make a tackle?
No.
An assistant tackle.
No. Is Julio have more touchdowns than Vic Beasley tackles?
Exactly.
Will Julio Jones have more tackles than Vic Beasley?
And Deion Jones got more interceptions than Trufant.
Oh my God!
Do I need to keep going? But anyway, it's bad.
All right, y'all. That wraps up Over and Under. Man, that's funny. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back with what's on our mind.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports,
I don't believe it! It's a touchdown!
entertainment,
Are you not entertained?
and other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
What's good, family? I'm Marlon Sucker Free Jones of Sucker Free Life LLC, and I'm locked in every Saturday to the best sports show on the planet, the 3-Point Conversion, where no team or no player is off limits. So let's talk sports, the best of the best, the worst of the worst, and everything in between. Can you dig that?
It's time to get in the mind of Mr. Controversy and the Intellectual with What's on My Mind.
We are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. That's that Battlegrounds, y'all. Who wants me? I'm ready. I'm ready, Danny, Nick, Kawan, Kyle, whatever you want to go by, whoever wants to battle. Dr. Fowler. All right, so this segment, What's on My Mind, is brought to you by Sucker Free Life LLC. Make sure you live your truth for the world to see, because everyone can be sucker free. Make sure you purchase your apparel today on Facebook.com/Sucker Free Life LLC. This is that segment where we get to basically speak our minds, just talk about what's bothering us, what we don't understand, what we like. If it doesn't make sense or not, just let me holler at you for a second. So, what's on my mind? H.O. and G brought it up. They talked about Houston Cougars coach Major Applewhite, and he had an exchange with Ed Oliver. Now, yes, Applewhite should definitely get a stop it for giving one. I usually don't give stoppers on my What's on My Mind, but he deserves one. Basically, why would you tell somebody they can't wear a coat? Especially if they're not playing. Now, I understand. I give your coat up to the guy that comes, okay, or whatever. Just get more coats. But if it's cold outside and I'm playing, I'm not about to sit out there and I don't have a uniform either. That doesn't make sense. I'm not. That's crazy to me. So, but either or, this is my deal. But the way Ed Oliver reacted, I mean, it wasn't that cold. I can understand if it was like minus 15, okay. But he reacted because he felt embarrassed. And my thing is, you look at today's game and how, in every sport, we don't see the respect that we once saw. And I don't know if because you see it in the professional level. I understand these are grown men, but yet still should be some level of respect because I am the coach. Now, that doesn't mean if I'm the coach that I can talk to you any type of way. But you shouldn't retaliate or react like that, especially when it's a rule. That was the rule. If you like it or not, hey, you know what the door is. But for him to react like that, and then you saw it with Jimmy Butler. And I understand with Jimmy Butler's situation, it's about money. I get that. But him yelling at Tibbs and the GM, you see it all of the time. You know, I remember, this is not to get off my lawn segment, but I remember when watching coaches like Dean Smith, even NBA coaches, you know, where you respected like Pat Riley, and you saw the players, they might not like what they did or said, you might see body language, but you never saw people talk bad to him, you know. The coach, help me out, G, reminds me of blank. The coach in Indiana, Isaiah's coach, Bobby Knight. I couldn't even imagine anyone going at Bobby Knight like that. But at the same time, yet still, they didn't like what he did, but they respected him. Now, some of the stuff that Bobby Knight did wasn't right, but the players still respect him. And my thing is, where's the respect? And now, because you see social media, and you see when players go crazy, and now we're posting that, or you see when he yelled at him. Even with LeBron, the time he went off on Lou. That's it, right? Lou from Ty Lue. Like, that wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, you're a professional or you're a 5-star player, it's still a head coach and it's still boundaries. And if he's the coach, he's over you, and it should be respect. And just watching that, I cringed. I didn't like it. It was on national TV. And Major Applewhite, he handled it well, but that guy should be suspended or something. Something should happen where something should happen. I don't think he should just get away with, well, he's emotional, that's great. Hey, no. And that's what's on my mind.
Guess it's on me. Pretty good on my mind, though.
Yeah, that's the truth. I was about to whoop my son. No, I'm just kidding. When I saw that, don't you ever do this to no coach. No.
It's definitely done changed over the years.
Right.
But I'm going to make mine real quick. I have to speak to the people who listen to the media. The people who listen to sports talk, people who listen to different outlets. And I have to say that it's wearing thin with me when outlets and media personalities starts to individualize the game instead of making it or talking about the team as a whole. And let me give you an example. Seattle beat Green Bay this past week on Thursday Night Football. And all of a sudden it became Aaron Rodgers can't beat the other quarterback. But he's not playing against the actual quarterback. He's playing against the actual team of the other side. So it wears on me to where all of a sudden when we want to make a point, we just pick the quarterback and make it seems as if he plays by himself. He has an offensive line. The defense are paid to stop him and the other team. And it's well, Aaron Rodgers hadn't beat this quarterback. He hadn't beat that quarterback. He hadn't beat this quarterback. Tom Brady, he done beat this quarterback. It's disrespectful to the team. He's not the only reason and the only person that's playing. So if this is, he beats this, what about the team? Didn't the team win? And then we should get to buy into it. And then you know, like you said, you have to start to debate with fans about something that somebody else said in the media. And it's like, okay, y'all really believe in that? I'm just getting sick of the individuality when it comes to the greatest team sport in sports history. It takes 11 guys each play to do your job to make somebody else better and to win games. It has nothing to do with the individuality of what the quarterback is doing against another quarterback. This is not tennis. This is not golf. It's a team sport. So when you speak of a team or when you speak of a quarterback, please make sure you do not disrespect the team that he actually plays for, because they have a job to do as well. And that's what's on my mind.
I feel you. You know what it is? You just getting old, man. That's how they do these days.
So I added that we talked about how he hasn't beaten this quarterback or this quarterback or someone. I saw a meme to where it's like he's 1-10 against elite quarterbacks. Okay, what's elite? It's so arbitrary. Like, like this guy's elite. Like, is Eli Manning part of that record, or
now I can understand
Joe Flacco or Ben Roethlisberger?
He's 1-10 against this defense, an elite defense, or a great.
I get that. But that make more sense.
I'm not playing against.
Because he talking about against this elite quarterback, but the quarterback doesn't play defense.
Right, that's what I always say. Yeah, what's his name beat him 9 times.
Oh my God!
So how many interceptions did Tom Brady have that game?
Exactly.
I mean, not throwing. I'm saying like how many did he pick off himself?
Exactly.
They don't play against each other.
It was probably more the true front though, but yeah.
You stupid. Oh my God,
it's crazy.
All right, man. All right, you hear this music, you already know what it means. It is time to let you go. But before we let you go, we have to give a couple of shout outs, and you might be a part of them, so stay tuned. First, I want to thank Almighty God for giving me this platform, giving me this opportunity to do what I do, say what I say, speak my mind, make you all happy, mad, want to give me the stop it button. Hey, I thank God for this. This is great.
Thank you, Raphael.
Hey, but I keep telling you, Jerry Jones is not God. So that's Jerry Jones if y'all don't know. But anyway, yeah, this is great, man. And then I have my staff. Shout out to The Intellectual. Get well soon, man. Krista Dayan, get well soon. Miss. Shout out to G. And I want to thank my guests. I want to thank Dr. Fowler for coming on. I want to thank Danny Thompson for coming on. And thank my all-star co-host, H.O.
Hey, appreciate it, bro. Shout out to the 3-point conversion. Shout out to you, Mr. Controversial, for having me each and every week. Bullpen action, baby. Come on in. Feeling like Craig Kimball, of course. Shout out to G. Dr. Fowler for coming in. Dr. Danny Thompson for shooting that. He just said plain day. Likely Bill,
right?
Getting rid of Wall.
Right.
I mean, it was plain and simple. But hey, another great day. Enjoy the bye week in college sports because that's basically what this is. Interesting game, Notre Dame, obviously, and then UCF. We can't forget those interesting games that we're going to have this week. And if you are in the area and around 12:30, please come on by 1193 Collier Road. Big Easy Grill, we be there eating the best shrimp in town. So come join us. We'll be there watching TV and talking sports and doing what we do. But appreciate all of the 3-point conversion listeners for tuning in and rocking with us each and every Saturday morning.
Yes, sir. I want to thank my family and friends, beautiful wife, children, grandchildren, aunties, uncles, grandparents, cousins, brothers, sisters, play cousins, and I want to thank Marquette Sutton for listening to the show. Appreciate you, man. Miss R.A.T. Brown Gosa, thank you for your support. I want to thank everybody listening live, Cindy Cuts Barbershop, Sucker Free Life LLC, Salad Express, and make sure you love family. Let them know that you love them while they're alive. Eat good. Watch some games this weekend. Until then, same time, same show next week. Same crazy host, same sports nonsense. Go Bears! Will you miss me?
Everything's given.
Peace! You just got done listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts at the 3-Point Conversion. And also make sure you check out our website, the3pointconversion.com. Be sure to follow us live and listen every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.